Dumping at the pump, Senator Bob Dole keeps pounding away at the gas tax. Abortion, politics, and the religious right. Are some religious conservatives changing course? And the Kentucky Derby, from the glamour of the track to the grit of the betting parlor.
From ABC, this is World News Saturday. Here's Aaron Brown.
Good evening. What is supposed to be a relatively quiet time in the presidential election year didn't feel like it today. Not for the president, and certainly not for Senator Bob Dole. The senator was again hammering away at the gas tax. Dole concedes it is not so much the tax itself, 4 cents a gallon, but what it symbolizes that he hopes will count. We begin with ABC's John Cochran.
Bob Dole is starting to fight back. After getting pounded for opposing an increase in the minimum wage, Dole has tried for a week to change the subject by pushing to kill the 1993 Clinton gas tax increase.
That's almost $5 billion a year in excise taxes from a president who said when he was a candidate he didn't think we ought to raise gas taxes.
Dole hopes to stay on offense now by going way beyond just gas taxes to a constitutional change that affects all taxes and all spending, too. The balanced budget amendment he failed to get through the Senate last year.
I said there's no issue more important. 80% of the American people wonder why we haven't done it by now. We failed by 1 vote.
Last year, some Democrats argued that requiring a balanced budget might lead to a raid on Social Security funds. Dole says he will try again to win over those Democrats.
We're trying to protect Social Security, which about half a dozen of the members gave as reason they voted no. And we will hope to have some action on that starting this week.
The White House still opposes a balanced budget amendment and found it odd that Dole talked about it while also advocating a cut in government revenue.
He's advocating the elimination of the 4.3 cents gas tax, which goes directly to reducing the deficit.
Dole also got slammed by a Republican ally, Ohio Governor George Voinovich, who didn't help his vice presidential prospects any by saying of Dole's plan to repeal the gas tax, "I don't get it. The deficit is a real problem." Dole says he can balance the budget and cut gas taxes. To show his support, the owner of this gas station reduced prices today by the amount of the tax.
Special today, you're 4.3 cents cheaper, is that correct?
Correct.
Is that going to last all day or just until we leave?
Just until you leave, said the owner. Little politics is all well and good, but business is business. John Cochran, ABC News, Washington.
This fight over the gas tax is a fight over a very small portion of the increase in gas prices. And while there is plenty of evidence that drivers are unhappy with the price of gas, as you'd expect, there isn't much evidence that higher prices means less driving, even when that's an option. From California, ABC's Brian Rooney.
In Southern California, drivers are complaining about the cost of gasoline, but they're doing it from behind the wheel of their car.
I don't have a choice. I have to drive 40 miles one way, 80 miles round trip to work.
The price of gas may be up 30% since November, but people are still driving to work and still driving to play. Magic Mountain, an amusement park northwest of Los Angeles, claims to be having a record season.
So it tells us that our guests aren't really concerned about how much money they're spending per a tank of gas.
John Stewart came all the way from Australia, and he's got big plans to tour the West in a motorhome.
We want to travel, and if you've got to pay those prices to travel, then you've got to pay those prices.
AAA says that if you do the math on your summer trip, the price of gas doesn't make all that much difference. At $1.53 a gallon, the cost of driving a car just over 1,000 miles from Los Angeles to Yellowstone National Park is about $66. That's up $15 from a year ago. Driving a motorhome will cost $183, up $42. A shorter trip, L.A. to San Francisco, is 382 miles. That costs $5 more in a car than it did 1 year ago. In a motorhome, it's up $15.
What we've been hearing from our members anecdotally is that they may be dining at less expensive restaurants along the way, or they may be buying fewer souvenirs and things like that on their trips, but they're still taking the trips.
And still buying gas-guzzling cars like four-wheel drive.
I think the price of gasoline is going to come down, and I'm looking for safety first. I'm looking for a safe car, a big car.
A big car with a big gas tank, and the cost of filling it doesn't seem to matter. For now. Brian Rooney, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Abortion was also a hot issue today, if a somewhat confusing one. We'll sort that out in just a moment. And coming up later, one man who makes a big difference in children's lives just by caring.
You know how you stand?
This is World News Saturday, brought to you by Cotton Incorporated.
What's the very first thing we need to know? That we won't get anywhere if we don't get there together. This is the fabric of our lives. This is cotton.
To really freshen your breath, give it both barrels. Mentadent mouthwash in new cool mint. Baking soda and peroxide combine, creating surging bubbles you can feel. Mentadent mouthwash. Freshen your breath all the way to clean.
Malox versus acid blockers. What to choose for heartburn? This demonstration shows that acid blockers don't neutralize the acid already in your stomach. Malox starts to neutralize that acid in minutes. Malox, the first choice for hospitals, the fast choice for you.
The Christian Coalition, with more than 1.5 million members, plays an important role in Republican Party politics. Its leader, Ralph Reed, is politically astute, and he's trying to make the organization Bob Dole friendly. But when it was reported today that the Christian Coalition seemed ready to soften slightly its position on abortion, the group came back with an angry denial. Here's ABC's Deborah Weiner.
Today's controversy involving comments attributed to the Christian Coalition's Ralph Reed proved once again that there is no room for subtlety when it comes to abortion. The New York Times reported that Reed would reluctantly support a constitutional amendment banning abortion that made exceptions in cases of rape, incest, and danger to the mother's life. Reed quickly called that report grossly inaccurate.
We will oppose with every fiber in our being any effort to weaken or water down or retreat on the Republican Party's time-honored and noble and historic defense of innocent human life.
Abortion has been a particularly difficult issue for Republicans, most visibly since the party's convention in 1992, when Pat Buchanan declared what he called a cultural war. Now, several influential Republican governors, including New Jersey's Christine Todd Whitman and California's Pete Wilson, want support for a constitutional amendment banning abortion taken out of the party platform. But the party has chosen pro-life Congressman Henry Hyde to chair its platform committee. That will clearly create a challenge for the party and its nominees.
This will be an interesting test for Bob Dole. Can he unite the great bulk of the party behind a strategy for dealing with the abortion issue or not?
5 months ago, Senator Dole tried to back off his support for a constitutional amendment against abortion. Ralph Reed attacked him, and Dole recanted. Clearly, the party is not of one voice, but Dole may have to find his own before the convention. Deborah Weiner, ABC News, Washington.
When President Clinton hosted a dinner this week to raise money for a memorial to Franklin Roosevelt, it raised again an issue that has been lingering in Washington for years. Should the memorial depict Roosevelt as he was, disabled by polio, or should it show him as the world saw him 50 years ago? The world, as every school child knows now, saw FDR as healthy and robust. Of the more than 120,000 pictures at the Roosevelt Library, only 2 show him wheelchair-bound. It is the way he wanted it, which was enough for the press at the time. But activists for the disabled argued that today there should be room in the memorial for a depiction of FDR as he really was, in part because it is fact, and in part because the fact has meaning.
In that memorial, were he shown in a wheelchair, he'd be an inspiration not only for the disabled community, 49 million Americans, 500 million people worldwide, but for people in general.
That is also the view of members of Roosevelt's family, but it is not now, nor has it ever been, the view of the memorial's planners who insist the sculptures of FDR should not show him disabled.
I feel that what I've done is represent Roosevelt as he wished to be seen. I would not consider falsifying visual history.
And so for now, history, as the memorial depicts it, will not show FDR as he really was when it's scheduled to open a year from now. We'll be right back.
But
Partly cloudy, 54 degrees. Seems that diets low in saturated fat and cholesterol and high in sources of fiber.
High in sources of fiber, like Quaker toasted oatmeal, may help reduce the risk of heart disease.
Some people have somehow missed the latest news. So when they eat Quaker toasted oatmeal, made with 100% natural whole grain Quaker oats, they remain unaware of all it could do for them. They just eat it because they like the way it tastes. Quaker toasted oatmeal, your other oatmeal. Oh, what those oats can do.
What day helps your small business grow?
It's Friday. Are you free?
Help your business do more business with Sprint's amazing offer. Friday's free for a full year. So get busy.
Same time next week.
And watch your small business grow.
Can't do lunch. It's Friday.
And grow. Call 1-800-598-5000 for Friday's free. It's the busiest day of the week.
It's Friday. Are you free?
Only from Sprint Business.
In Kenya, the African wet season was upon us, and for the hippo, it was a blissful time of year. A bit awkward on land, the rotund hippo exhibits surprising grace in the water. There, his massive body becomes buoyant, and his amphibious attributes allow him to explore a world most land animals can only dream about. The preceding has been brought to you by the all-new Nissan Pathfinder, a ruggedly built vehicle that allows you to explore some amazing places.
Take a good look through Transitions lenses. The lightweight plastic prescription lenses with a special tint that lightens and darkens as the light changes. Transitions lenses. Lightweight plastic lenses that darken and lighten just like that. It's comfort you can see, day or night, inside or outside. Ask for Transitions lenses and see for yourself. They're right in any light.
In Australia today, they reopened the tourist spot where last Sunday a gunman killed 35 people. Only a few people showed up today to mourn the victims of the worst massacre in modern Australian history. At the same time, thousands of people marched in the cities of Hobart and Sydney to demand tougher gun control laws. In the United States, researchers say they have a new understanding of what smoking does to the heart, and it is not good. New study shows that sugars in tobacco form a kind of molecular glue that hardens the arteries, creating heart disease. The research shows that this reaction affects even young smokers. From Philadelphia tonight, the story of a teacher. He has no teaching credentials, no degree from a university, not even a high school diploma, but he is still a teacher, for he's a man who knows things children need to learn, and the lessons he teaches could well save their lives. Here's ABC's Deborah Amos.
You help me with the English, I'll help you with the math.
Cornelius Cunningham is an unlikely role model. He never got past the 6th grade. At 59, he's back in the classroom 3 times a week, a mentor for boys at risk.
It's best to catch them around the 6th grade, between the ages of 11 and 13. Seems like that's when the problem happens.
Problems like drugs, violence, and failure.
I've been where they're at, and I know that there's only 2 roads they can go. They might not survive the road I went.
Cornelius was in jail at 15. This picture from the last time, 9 years ago, for carrying a shotgun. His early life, an example of what not to do. 20 years in jail for drugs and violence. A man who nearly drank himself to death.
When you get down so far, you can't do nothing else but bounce back up.
4 years ago, he came to this office at Temple University. He wanted to work with kids. Dr. Andrea Taylor was looking for older adults for a drug prevention program. Cornelius was a risk that Dr. Taylor decided to take.
I can think of 5 or 6 children whose lives have been changed immeasurably by the kind of support that he has given. Kids who are now still in school who might not be otherwise.
Like that.
He does more than mentor at school. For a year, Cornelius is a constant part of their lives. Even a good student like Wendell Boyd needs support from a man who also grew up in a dangerous neighborhood.
A lot of them ask the question, how can I get out of this? How can I live here and not be a part of this?
North Philadelphia is where 11-year-old Jesse lives, a place he says that sometimes makes him angry, sometimes scared.
They shoot at car windows, shoot at lights, they shoot at people. There's all crazy stuff.
Even Cornelius is frightened here.
Times are different from when I was out there than now. Much different.
But some things are the same, like the anger that Cornelius says he's now learned to control, a lesson passed on to another boy he mentored, now a high school honor roll student.
6th grade, I was terrible. And Miss Cunningham brought me out of that slowly for surely. You know, it took a little time, but he brought me out of it.
I don't want them to go through what I went through. And I know, without education, a man, a child, is not civilized.
A man who practices what he preaches. Cornelius never learned to read as a boy. Now he takes classes for a high school diploma.
To blush, the stripes were gone. Men saw the blush and called it dawn.
I like that.
Cornelius Cunningham shares what he's learned in a painful lifetime.
I get more of this than the kids do. Much more. That's me. Just like a little kid. Second chance.
A chance to save lives, one child at a time. Deborah Amos, ABC News, Philadelphia.
We'll be right back.
Now here's good news for everyone over 50. It's not age that slows most of us down. It's usually not eating right. New Resource helps guarantee you get the nutrition you need to be your best every day. Improve your diet. Improve your life with New Resource, the liquid nutritional food. And here comes more good news. Resource is the only nutritional drink with fresh fruit flavors and no fat. Only from Resource.
Look at that damage.
Where'd I go wrong?
You should have waterproofed. New improved Thompson's Water Seal Waterproofer has more power for more protection. Long-lasting protection. Don't wait till it's too late. Thompson's is protection.
Long titles are out. Teams are in. Inboxes are out. Emails in. Travel like this, out. Travel like this, in. Walls are out. Wheels are in. No matter how far out stuff gets, we'll always have what's in. Hayworth, furniture for what's next.
Nobody does it like you, the way that you do. Hoover, nobody does it like you. All right, we're going low-fat, fresh turkey, lettuce, tomato on wheat. What? No Hellman's.
You can eat low-fat and still have great taste with Hellman's low-fat mayonnaise dressing. It tastes so delicious you won't believe it has only 1 gram of fat.
What? No Hellman's?
Hellman's low-fat mayonnaise dressing.
Bring out the Hellman's and bring out the best.
Two football stars, two very different stories tonight. Former New York Giant Lawrence Taylor is free on $5,000 bond.
I still have to figure it out, but I wasn't there. And the only thing I have to go on is what folks who saw it told me. Which is what? Which is that strange writer